In the headlines, inflation rate surges to 33.69% in April. One dies, 23 others receiving treatment. His man sets Kano Mosque on fire during prayers. Resignation galore as 4 Wike loyalists quit Fubara's cabinet. And on the foreign scene, former Gabon President Ali Bongo on hunger strike against alleged torture. Hello, welcome to News Update here on Trust TV. My name is Lilian Okazi. And now to the news. Despite the Naira making considerable gains in April, the prices of goods and services escalated in the month of April. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the headline inflation rate increased to 33.69% relative to the March 2024 headline inflation rate, which was 33.20%. It noted that the movement of inflation in April showed an increase in 0.49 points when compared to the March 2024 headline inflation rate. The report added that food inflation rate in April 2024 was 40.53% on a year-on-year basis, which was 15.92 percentage points higher compared to 24.61% recorded in April 2024. The rise in food inflation on a year-on-year basis was caused by increases in prices of millet flour, gari, bread, wheat flour, pre-packed, semovita, amongst others. The House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence has resolved to investigate the state of the Nigerian presidential fleet. This followed concerns raised in a motion of urgent public importance moved by Rep. Ahmed Satomi over the recurring use of chartered flights by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima as a result of faults with aircraft in the fleet. Presenting the motion, the lawmakers said it was a great security risk for the presidential fleet to be having faulty aircraft that will be forcing the president and vice president to opt for commercial flights. According to him, the presidential fleet is a vital component of running the nation's day-to-day affairs by the president and his deputy, as well as traveling for important national and international engagements. After contributions from members, the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu ordered that the motion be stepped down for the relevant committee to commence investigation, which is covered by its mandate. The mover of the motion, Rep. Satomi Ahmed, who is also the chairman House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, withdrew the motion and promised to work on the House directives on the matter. Meanwhile, the lawyer for the 6th Cameroonian professor teaching in Nigerian universities and 4 others, Joseph Fru, on Tuesday, claimed that his clients were illegally imprisoned by the Cameroonian authorities. The individuals in question had petitioned the House of Representatives to aid their release following their purported kidnap from Nigeria and subsequent imprisonment in Cameroon since January 2018. The petitioners, who claimed to be lawfully residents of Nigeria, are all Cameroonian nationality, with the exception of refugee and asylum seekers, addressing journalists in Abuja on the update of the petition submitted to the House of Representatives on public petition. Lawyer to the petitioners, Awel Fru, further explained that despite 2 separate judgments in Nigeria in their favor, the abducted professors remain incarcerated at the Kodengui Security Detention Facility in Cameroon. He also added that in October 2022, the UN Human Rights Council Working Group on Arbitrary Detention of 14th October 2022 found their arrest and detention by Nigeria and Cameroon arbitrary and illegal, and asked both countries to unconditionally free the victims and pay them appropriate compensation.
When somebody arbitrarily, and when we say arbitrarily, we mean without any legal cause, is picked up and then held for as long as they were held in Nigeria before being sent to Cameroon, that is called an abduction. An abduction does not end when we know where they are. An abduction, that illegal act continues and abides with them until that illegality is cured. And to this point, that illegality has not been cured and that is why they are still languishing in prison. The second thing is that these petitioners were not repatriated. They were not deported. Because you repatriate somebody when you go through a legal process and you exhaust all the legal processes, and then a court decides that they have to go back to where they came from to answer in that jurisdiction. That is called repatriation. And in fact, before you repatriate somebody, especially between countries, there has to be a bilateral treaty or a treaty that is observed. There's none of that in this case.
Moving on, one person has been confirmed dead by the police in Kano State and many others hospitalized following an attack by an assailant at a mosque in Laraba, Abasawa area of Genziawa local government area of Kano State. Warning, some viewers may find the images in Idris Jibrin report distressing.
Very close. It's tragic in Larabar Abasawa village of Gezawa local government area of Kano State as body part littered the ground outside a burnt local mosque. According to the community members, the man used petrol to ignite the fire and locked the mosque from outside with about 40 people praying inside. We don't know what is happening, but this is the third time he is attacking people here. He had once hit two of his elder brothers and took himself to police station, claiming that he had killed them. According to family members, one Shafiu Aminu of Gidan Nguru is believed to have orchestrated the plot to set the mosque ablaze, following years of misunderstanding with his family members over inheritance. It took time for people outside to get wary of the incident and immediately went to the rescue of the victims who were struggling to break out. Inside Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital, the victims who are critically injured, some of them beyond recognition, are now receiving treatment. Police confirmed the death of one person.
But from the interim investigations we have conducted so far, we got to know that it's not, and it has nothing to do with terrorism. It's never a terrorism case. This is what we want the public to know. It is just a minor family skirmish which arose from the distribution of an inheritance. The person that detonated the bomb is said to be an aggrieved person that the sharing of the inheritance was not to his satisfaction, which is quite unfortunate.
While these people continue to receive treatment, the police are also assuring members of the public that the incident has nothing to do with terrorism, rather a family dispute relating to inheritance. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Meanwhile, some terrorists on Monday kidnapped over 80 people at Yamalami village in Faskari local government area of Katsina State. This was barely 24 hours after the attackers had killed some soldiers at the military camp in the area. Residents of the area on Tuesday said that the attackers returned to the village on Monday, abducted more than 80 people, looted shops and burned houses during the operation that lasted for about 10 hours. The bandits attacked the community again, looting shops, burning houses and vehicles, and abducted many residents after the soldiers left, the residents said. A political office holder in the area confirmed the incident. He said continuous attacks had forced residents to desert the town. The Borno State Police Command has arrested over 40 suspects over alleged involvement in phone snatching, theft, and illegal drug peddling. The command said the suspects were arrested by its new squad codenamed Kamdi Bifrata, which means Operation Flush Out Criminals. During the operation, it recovered exhibits from the suspects such as tricycles, phones, cash, knives, and illegal drugs. The State Police Public Relations Officer Nahum Kenneth Dasso at a press briefing revealed that 22 suspects were apprehended for possession of drugs and illegal substances, with 14 involved in phone snatching, while other suspects were arrested for burgling a store. DASO called on the public to report suspicious activities to the police within their domain, adding that the command has vowed to ensure that unrepentant criminals in the state are severely dealt with.
On the 12th of May 2024, at about 1700 hours, following a credible tip-off, one Babagana M of Ngalnam area, Maiduguri, was arrested in possession of 2 rams and 2 sheep, all valued 200,000 naira. Upon investigation, the suspect confessed to have stolen the animals, and in regards to the military uniform, the case is still watery. So once we get further brief about it, we are going to come up and discuss about it probably in our next press briefing.
Operators of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC on Tuesday expanded its clampdown on bureau de change operators arresting traders in Lagos, Abuja, Kano and Port Harcourt. This came as the naira weakened further against the United States dollar at both the official and parallel foreign exchange markets. The recent raids followed renewed efforts by the federal government to tackle the naira's recent fall against the greenback, the activities of currency speculators in the forex market, and digital cryptocurrency space have reportedly increased pressure on the naira, with the government accusing crypto traders of speculating against the national currency. 3 serving commissioners in the cabinet of Governor Siminalayi Fubara have resigned from the Rivers State Council. The commissioners are those from the Ministries of Education, Tinubu, Housing, Gift Warlu, and Environment, Austin Benchioma, who are all loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. They were among the 9 commissioners who had previously resigned in the heat of the political crisis in the state before the intervention of President Bola Tinubu. Their resignations came 24 hours after Fubara slammed his predecessor, an estranged political godfather, accusing him of leaving a huge debt burden for him. The 3 commissioners tendered their resignation in separate letters addressed to the governor through the secretary to the state government, Tami Danagogo. Meanwhile, the disagreement between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and his estranged godson, the governor of Rivers State, Simi Fubara, may have taken a new dimension as the governor threw a jab at his predecessor while speaking at a function in Rivers State. He said, "The federal government is giving us support, but the rat in the house is eating the bag of curry, and that he has already sent Otapiapia to finish them."
If we are fighting federal government, it's a different matter. We're talking about federal government that is giving us support, but the rat in the house that is eating the bag of curry. So you can imagine such situation. Huh? But we have already said the Otapiapia words to finish them.
Meanwhile, the federal government has charged tax practitioners to work harder in getting more revenue from taxes, stressing that tax revenue is currently the highest income source for the Federation. It disclosed this on Tuesday through the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Median, at the 26th Annual Tax Conference of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria in Abuja. The government pointed out that based on the current high revenue from taxes, members of the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee are always looking forward to the figures from the Federal Inland Revenue Service every month in order to have funds to share to the 3 tiers of government. FIRS exceeded its 2023 revenue targets by 816 billion naira, as its total actual revenue collection for last year stood at 12.37 trillion naira, outperforming the 11.56 trillion naira target. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Correctional Service has said that the Correctional Service Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society Hotel and Garden project was not funded by the federal government. The Public Relations Officer Umar Abubakar said the hotel was an investment by the NCOS Cooperative Society. Abubakar, who reacted to the issues raised about the facility, said that the hotel was strictly about staff welfare. Nigerians have been drawing comparison between the Nigerian Correctional Service Hotel and the nation's infamous correctional facility. Currently, many correctional facilities are reported to have. This is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, mobile phone charging increases to 100 naira in Kano. More news when we return Tuesday. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Inflation rate surges to 33.69% in April. One dies, 23 others receiving treatment as man sets Kano Mosque on fire during prayers. Now moving on, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAM) on Tuesday released additional 36,540 unified tertiary matriculation examination results, which were earlier withheld for further investigation. This was in addition to the 531 results released the previous week, now bringing the total released result to 1.8 million. The board disclosed this in a statement released on Tuesday night through its spokesman, Fabian Benjamin. JAM in a statement denied reports circulating on social media purporting to emanate from it that the outstanding 2024 UTME result currently being subjected to intense scrutiny by its team of experts had been compromised on account of cybersecurity breach and that it was considering rescheduling the examination. It asked the public to disregard the report, saying it was created by fraudsters who were out to dupe the unsuspecting members of the public. Phone users in Kano now have to cough out 100 naira to charge their device as those who run the businesses increase their fee on account of rising cost of fuel and poor electricity supply. Abba Adamu reports that until now, mobile phone owners pay as low as 30 naira for the service. The report.
The absence of stable power supply has created business opportunity for people like Ali Umar, who runs mobile phone charging service and makes profit from it. Phone users cannot afford to allow their phones become dead for a long period without being unreachable, and therefore find solace in those who run phone charging businesses at an affordable rate. However, that is all charging now, as they are now asked to pay 100 naira for the services from the usual 30 naira. Ali Umar attributed the increase to high cost of fuel with which they power their generators. We were charging for 30 and later 15 naira when we were buying half a gallon of fuel at 1,200 naira. But now we collect between 80 and 100 naira because of fuel. He wants government to intervene and fix prices of consumer goods to address rising inflation. He said business owners are helplessly losing capital to inflation and price instability. A point of sales operator who combined the business with mobile phone charging, Yunus Ibrahim, said most of his customers are unable to pay for the service following the increase. The rate started from 30 naira to 50 and then 70, then now 100 naira. But most of my customers to pay for the service rendered. The leadership is to blame for our woes, and the only thing we can do is to pray. For Aliyu Yau, though the business is declining, unlike before, he still charges 50 naira for his businesses because he is not using a generator. We are using solar here because we are also selling soft drinks here. We can afford the rising cost of fuel, so we can't afford the rising cost of fuel, so we opted for the solar system. A mobile phone user, Abubakar Lawan, said he is relying on public supply of electricity to charge his phone because he is owing some of them money. I do not have money to pay for the service now. In fact, I am owing some of them for charging my phone. For now, mobile users in Kano will continue to pay 100 naira for this service. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
Now to the foreign scene. Death toll from last week's building collapse in George, South Africa has risen to 33, with 19 people still missing despite ongoing rescue efforts. No new survivors have been found. Only 6 victims have been identified so far. Rescuers using cranes, heavy machinery and sniper dogs are focusing on the building's lower levels on first and second floors. Over 600 personnel, including many from nearby towns, are involved in the operation. George, located about 400 kilometers east of Cape Town, is known as a vacation and golfing spot. Authorities, including police and labor departments, are investigating the cause of the collapse. Still on the foreign scene, former President Ali Bongo of Gabon and his two younger sons, Jalil and Bilal, have started a hunger strike to protest their sequestration and alleged acts of torture against family members. Their lawyers, who announced this on May 14th, also stated that a lawsuit has been filed in the Paris Judicial Court. Lawyers Francois Zemari and Catalina de la Sota aim to have a French judge investigate these allegations, especially as Gabon's leader since the August 2023 coup, General Brice Oligui, plans to visit Paris soon. An earlier complaint by Ali Bongo's wife, Sylva Bongo, filed on September 1st, 2 days after the coup was dismissed in October. The new complaint alleges illegal arrest, aggravated sequestration and torture, and barbaric acts against all Sylva and their sons, Noureddine, Jalil and Bilal, noting that the first four are French nationals. The lawyers claim Noureddine has been tortured multiple times, while Sylva was beaten and forced to witness this act. They added that Ali Jalal and Bilal, who are under house arrest and deprived of communication, have been tortured. Moving on to sports, following his outstanding performance for Udinese this season, goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is set to return to the Super Eagles for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The young star decided to drop out of the team before the 2023 African Cup of Nations to face his club career. His decision seems to have paid off, as he has emerged as the first-choice goalkeeper for the Italian Serie A side. The Nigerian goaltender made the headlines after single-handedly earning Udinese a win against champion Juventus. According to a hint from the national team camp, Okoye is among the goalkeepers coach George Finidi has invited for the qualifiers against South Africa and the Benin Republic. Ahead of match days 3 and 4 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the head coach of the Bafana Bafana of South Africa, Hugo Boros, has unveiled his provisional list for the games. The Bafana Bafana will be the guest of Nigeria's Super Eagles on match day 3 before hosting the Warriors of Zimbabwe on day 4. The German gaffer on Wednesday morning called up 36 players that will commence preparation for the match. The match against Nigeria is scheduled to take place on the 7th of June at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. With that, we've come to the end of news updates on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Lilian Ogazi. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.